Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate. Assalamu alaikum. First of all, I want to thank the organizers for inviting me to give this lecture at this important course, and to thank all of you in advance for the patience and courtesy with whom you will follow my lecture. My lecture is about the role of NGOs in stabilizing justice and peace in the world. First of all, we should know that there is no peace without justice. And this is the purpose of all prophets. Therefore, when we as an NGO want to try for justice and peace, we are in the path of the prophets. And the prophets have always used the people to establish justice and peace, not governments. As the Quran says in Surah Al-Hadid, chapter 57, verse 25, لقد أرسلنا رسلنا بالبينات وأنزلنا معهم الكتاب والميزان ليقوم الناس بالقسط. We have already sent our messengers with clear evidences and sent down with them the scripture and the balance, that the people may maintain in justice. The meaning of justice is clear. That is, putting everything in its place. That is, the proportion of right and stability. It means equality of human rights. And what is peace? True peace is not just a mere absence of war. It's a situation where, in addition to the absence of war, there is no hunger or poverty, and the people are happy, healthy, safe, and wise, and can lead a sustainable life. So creating lasting peace is a multi-dimensional activity wherein NGOs are emerging as crucial players. While to a great extent it is the responsibility of governments, sovereign states to ensure this, the truth is that these very governments start wars, permit human rights abuses or environmental damage, or jeopardize human security. Seeing the futility of relying on governments, NGOs that are non-governmental organizations emerge as a counterforce to such powers. NGOs have often come into being because an individual or a few committed people have recognized problems that are inadequately addressed by governments. Their cause usually spreads by word of mouth and of late through the internet. They are rarely well-funded, but are driven by their great power of commitment and compassion to create a more peaceful and equitable world. Often they have to fight relentlessly against huge authoritarian powers and against great odds. NGOs are gaining more and more importance and exerting a greater influence in the world. NGO is an alternative to government for specific issues. In their hearts, everyone wants justice and peace, but discussions between nations and states tend to give priority to a strategy of considerations of gain and loss, rather than the basic anti-war sentiments shared by people at the grassroots level everywhere. Due to their non-political nature, NGOs more accurately reflect the concerns of the ordinary people and also have greater freedom and courage to take a moral and global stand on issues. Understanding by the narrow self-interest of governments, NGOs can awaken the conscience of the global community on serious problems that transcend territorial boundaries and compel governments to take more human actions. Since NGOs are mostly grassroots activities, they tend to have more familiarity with the local conflict environment, closer contacts with the people, and therefore have been scribed with the ability to play a preventive role too. They do this by a system of gathering information and giving early warning to governments. Another major peace-building role played by them is through capacity building, conducting training of local leaders, as this helps in strengthening civil society and the social system. Expanding their grassroots networks, those organizations contribute greatly to peace and arms reduction and to solving a wide range of global problems like human rights issue, development, environment, food security, population, even distributing aid in battle zones. The first step taken by an NGO is to identify and take up a cause. For example, in Namibia, the rape and murder of a woman sparked public outrage. This incident motivated the religious leaders to be united to solve the problems of the people and help the government. And we formed the Abrahamic Interfaith Council, AIC, with the aim of educating the youth for justice and peace, combating racism and inequality between men and women, and serving the affected families. As a summary, I can say, increasingly states and intergovernmental organizations are delegating the responsibility of peacemaking and peace building to NGOs working in humanitarian, developmental, educational, and conflict resolution activities. Through citing some prominent NGOs and their achievements, we can see the new approaches they have used to end conflict, especially because of their neutral, unbiased approach. The fact that a lot of them receive funds from individuals and not governments help them to work independently and unrestrictedly. Moreover, through the advancement of information technology, NGOs large and small have been able to network through internet quickly and effectively and impact globally. In his book, Choose Peace, Dr. Daisaku Akeda says that we must realize the importance of soft power, that is all kinds of exchanges and contacts on non-governmental levels. He adds that for the sake of global symbiosis, exchanges among ordinary people are far more effective than contacts between governments. For instance, environmental issues came to the forefront as a result of the work of people's organizations. Very little would have been done in the ecological field had not organizations such as Greenpeace mobilized public opinion. Governments and corporations have only acted because civil society has shamed them into it. It was NGOs that laid the groundwork for the dismantling of the Soviet Empire, brought about a political transformation in Poland, brought an end to the apartheid system in South Africa, established the principle of accountability for crimes against humanity. Such stunning achievements have made governments worldwide sit up and take NGOs so seriously that today they involve NGOs in their deliberations and decision making. They are involved in policy making by organizations like United Nations, World Bank, WTO, IMF, etc. International relations and peace talks are no more the exclusive domain of diplomats and bureaucrats. The NGOs too now play a vital role towards this end. Thank you.